All right. Shalom. Before I get started with this lesson, I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakah HaKodash. I want to give double honors to my elder apostles, to my elder bishops, and to my elder teachers of Great Millstone that rule well, which taught me this truth, who are the true leaders of Israel today, and also peace, love, blessings, and salutations unto the elect. All right, Shalom. Shalom to the few sisters, the Akwaf, that listen and follow this truth and sincerity. Shalom to your sisters, to you Akwaf, and also shalom to the Israelite foreigners. Shalom to the hopefully elect. All right, shalom, shalom, shalom. And in this lesson, it's pretty much one of those, just hit the button and record, and whatever the Spirit feeds me, that's what I'm gonna bring out. But I want to go into 2nd Esdras, the 6th chapter, and I want to start at verse 18. And I'll read it. And it says, "And it said, Behold, the days come, that I will begin to draw nigh, and to visit them that dwell upon the earth." And the Lord is in the process of doing that, man. Okay, the Lord is actually visiting Babylon the Great, the entire planet Earth, right? Via the angels, right, with the chariot sightings, and the angels revealing themselves to the point that Esau is ultimately trying to control the narrative, right? He's talking about, these alien sightings and UFOs, and trying to say that it's aliens that control those UFOs, or so on and so forth, right? But ultimately, this devil, as I said, is trying to control the narrative, but he knows, deep down, he knows that those are the angels, right? And Esau knows that his time is short, like it says in Revelation, the 12th chapter. That's why he's getting ready to come with that great wrath, because he knows that his time is up. He knows that his time is short, right? He sees the prophets back, so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, so-called Hispanics, even the Israelite foreigners, turning back to their heritage, calling themselves Hebrew Israelites, calling upon the true name of the Lord, Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, right? And so these are signs to let this devil know that his time is up. Okay, so yeah, he's going to come with that great wrath, but at the same time, the Lord is paying attention to this devil. He's always been paying attention, right? But now the Lord is letting it be known that this devil's days are numbered, man. Okay, and they're afraid. Okay, and when I speak about these devils, I'm speaking about these so-called elite, right, of Esau Edom, right, that so-called 1%, these tiny tops, who pretty much control the planet Earth, which is a blessing that was given unto them, referring to Genesis, the 27th chapter. Okay, but it says, this is 2nd Esdras 6 and 18, and it said, Behold, the days come that I will begin to draw nigh, and to visit them that dwell upon the earth, right? And not just Esau Edom, but these heathen and the wicked ass 2/3 of our people as well, man. So the Lord, he's not playing around. Okay, the Lord is getting ready to come down with the wrath. He's about to come down with that hammer, and there's going to be a lot of bloodshed, a lot of death and destruction, man, that's coming. All right, verse 19, and will begin to make inquisition of them, what they be that have hurt unjustly. So ultimately, inquisition is, when you're inquisitive, you're paying attention to something and you're questioning it. You're examining that said thing, right? So the Lord is examining Esau Edom, right? And the Lord sees all of the wickedness that this devil has done and is doing, man, and is planning to do. The Lord sees it and he hears it. He knows it, right? So at the end of the day, the Lord is getting ready to cut Esau off while he's trying to pursue his so-called New World Order, man. Okay? And will begin to make inquisition of them, what they be that have hurt unjustly with their unrighteousness, and when the affliction of Sion shall be fulfilled. Okay, so this devil, we already know his history and his track record, and it's to the point to where this devil is ashamed of his history and he's trying to hide it. Okay, but he can't hide it, right? Because ultimately he's being exposed via the prophets, but also via his own people, right? These insiders, okay, these people that are the whistleblowers who are spilling all the beans on what this devil does behind the scenes, man. You see, it says, and will begin to make inquisition of them what they be that have hurt unjustly with their unrighteousness, and when the affliction of Zion shall be fulfilled. Right. At the end of the day, the Lord put us into captivity because we transgressed his law, statutes, and commandments. Like it says in Baruch, the 4th chapter and the 6th verse. Right. So we had to go into in and out of these different captivities, ultimately because we haven't been perfected yet. So the Lord is getting ready to perfect us in the new covenant, where he puts his laws, statutes, and commandments into our spirits, and we're going to be perfect, right? We're not going to transgress his laws, statutes, and commandments. So the Lord won't have a reason to put us to death anymore, and we're going to get the victory over death, like when you read in 1 Corinthians, the 15th chapter. Okay, so ultimately, it's the Lord putting us in and out of these different captivities, which we're still, of course, we're still in captivity right now under Esau, Edom. But we're at the end of our captivity. So the Lord ultimately had to punish us, but we're at the end of our punishment. So that's why it says, and when the affliction of Zion shall be fulfilled. So our affliction is almost fulfilled, man. Okay, that's why you see the prophets back on the highways and byways. That's why we're calling upon the true name of the Lord and calling ourselves the Hebrew Israelites. Okay, because the Lord is showing that mercy. And he's bringing us back to our remembrance, as he said he would do. See, all of these things that are happening are biblical prophecy. But then you got these Edomites that are trying to kick against the pricks, like your Vocab Malones and your so on and so forth, man. Even 2/3 of our people, right? That these Edomite apologists, ultimately they're kicking against the pricks because it was already destined for the Lord to bring us back into our remembrance. Okay, for us to wake up. Like when you read Ezekiel, the 37th chapter, okay, the Lord putting that breath back into us. That was already destined for us to happen, man. Okay. And when the affliction of Zion shall be fulfilled, and when the world that shall begin to vanish away shall be finished. So we're in that period to where we're seeing this world, this current rulership, the rulership of Esau, Edom, is vanishing away, man, right? Like it says at the top of this chapter, 2nd Ezra 6 and 9, for Esau is the end of the world, right? A period of time, eon, and age. So he's at the end of his age, or at the end of his period of time to rule. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth, right? So right now, you're seeing that transitioning period that's taking place. Right, like when you read Sirach, the 10th chapter, when you go to Sirach, chapter 10, verse 8, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. Right, so the Lord is ultimately, Salakia. Let me get back to my point, but ultimately the Lord has that transitioning period taking place right now, to where he's about to take Esau out of power, and he's in the process of putting us in power. Okay. Going back to 2nd Ezra 6 and 20, and when the world that shall begin to vanish away, right, this current rulership, Esau, Edom's world, and it's vanishing away right now. It says, and when the world that shall begin to vanish away shall be finished, then will I show these tokens. The books shall be opened before the firmament, and they shall all see together. And the children of a year old shall speak with their voices. The women with child shall bring forth untimely children of 3 or 4 months old, and they shall live and be raised up. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsold, the full storehouses. So ultimately, this is going into that comfort being taken away, that security being taken away. And we're seeing it happening to America. At one point in time, people were comfortable. At one point in time, people were you know, as I said, um, ultimately they were, well, yeah, I just use comfort for lack of a better word. Well, they were secure that they can go to, the stores and get their groceries, and the prices was low, and gas is cheap, and all of that, man. Now people are unsure ever since the 2020, and it's been getting worse and worse. And especially now, you got the Hantavirus virus and all these things going on, all of these poly crises. So people are kind of unsure. You can go into the store and the shelves are empty, so on and so forth. So this is the Lord visiting this place, man, because the Lord is getting ready to take this place out. You see, it says the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty, and the trumpet shall give a man, Salakia, and the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid, right? So the trumpet being this word going out, the warning, the message of the wrath that's coming of the Lord, okay? It says, which every man heareth, and they shall be suddenly afraid. So these people, they're starting to realize that the prophets are right. Okay, everything that we're saying, especially with right now, the MOTB. Okay, you got these other Israelite camps trying to downplay the MOTB being the RFID microchip. But then on the other hand, you see they're pushing this digital ID. They want to put everything on the grid. Everything is leading to the MOTB. And they're saying if you don't get this digital ID, you're not going to be able to ultimately operate in Esau society, man. So that's the MOTB, man. That's the Revelation 13 and 16. So a lot of people are unsure and they're becoming afraid. Okay. At that time shall friends fight one another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountains shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. Whosoever remaineth from all these things that I have told thee shall escape and see my salvation in the end of your world. And that's going into the elect, man. And the men that are received shall see it, who have not tasted death from their birth. And the heart of the inhabitants shall be changed and turned into another meaning. For evil shall be quenched, Salakia, for evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched, right? And that's what's going on, right? Esau's, all of his lies and all of his past atrocities are being brought up, being brought to the forefront. He's been exposed, okay? And all of this wickedness is being quenched via the word, the Holy Spirit, okay? And the Lord is still waking up the elect, and the elect are becoming more and more confident, more and more, their faith is being strengthened more and more, because ultimately the Lord is getting ready to bring that destruction and bring that change, okay, that transitioning of power. And it's going to start with the elect. First and foremost, this is ultimately Yahweh Shai's kingdom that's being ushered in. And ultimately the elect is going to, those first fruits are the ones that's going to be delivered, man, in that large multitude. Okay. As for faith, it shall be flourished. Corruption shall be overcome. And the truth, which have been so long without fruit, shall be declared. And that's what's happening, man. Okay, this truth is being declared, right? Ultimately, the Lord is doing as he said he would do. Like when you read Revelation, the 11th chapter, and it goes into that period to where this truth wasn't being taught, right? For a period of time, Revelation 11 and 11. And after 3 days and a half, a period of 350 years from 1619 to around 1969, 1970, right? When we first went into horrorcore chattel slavery, all the way up into when the Lord put the spirit on Elder Albert Bibbins to start preaching on the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay. Ultimately, the Lord putting that breath back into us and bringing this truth back into the earth. It says, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. Yet the prophets being on the highways and byways, and the elites are afraid because they understand that this is their end. Okay. But the Lord said that this was going to happen. Okay, so that's why it says, as for faith, it shall flourish. You see, the faith of the hopeful elect is flourishing more and more and more. Okay, this truth is constantly growing. Everybody knows about the Hebrew Israelites, man. Okay, so this is all the power of Yahweh Shai. And the truth which have been so long, and the truth which have been so long without fruit shall be declared. So it's being declared, man. Okay, so the prophets are back. As the Lord said, it would happen, man. Okay, and ultimately the Lord is getting ready to deliver his elect, right? Matthew chapter 24 and verse 30 and verse 31, right? And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. So that's what's going on, man. The Lord is getting ready to deliver his elect, man. All right. So ultimately, this is a beautiful thing, and this is a miracle that the Lord has allowed us to understand who we are and to give us his name so that we can call upon him, so that we can ultimately be delivered. You know, of course, we got to endure Jacob's trouble, right? Like it says here in verse 13, but he that shall endure until the end, the same shall be saved. So we got to endure Jacob's trouble, right? Even unto death, like it says in Revelation 2nd chapter and the 10th verse. But ultimately, the Lord is going to put the spirit on the elect to endure whatever comes their way so that they can be delivered. So that's why we call ourselves the hopeful elect, because we understand that in order for us to be delivered, when Yahweh Shah returns, we got to be of that number. We got to be of the elect. Okay, so the Lord is doing everything that he said was going to happen. And this devil is at his end, man. He's about to be taken out of power completely, you know. But I just wanted to go into that quick lesson. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. And until next time, I want to say shalom.